Okay, sorry about that. My camera was cut off. But as I was saying, dominant introverted sensors don't like new people and new things because there is no track record with the person or the individual or the thing. They do not know what possibility could emerge from that interaction with the new thing or the new person, and they're not very trusting of the possibilities because there could be negative things that emerge from this. So they are going to be resistant. The aspect of being resistant to change, particularly from the external environment, or being resistant to the facts and the things that the objective external world presents to you, is a fundamental tenet of introverted sensing, and it is something that you see in the dominant introverted sensing type, though they may be more objectively based, as there's ISTJ types and ESTJ types heavily within the fields of science, but it's their bent towards codification and their dominant or auxiliary extroverted thinking that is dependent on fact-based and external logic that drives them to the things and not just introverted sensing alone. Excuse me. And it's to say that their spirituality or their metaphysics or how they show up in the not readily or spontaneously thought of way is in their collection of relics, or the creation of relics and physical ideographs. Ideographs are words that have meaning that don't have strict and precise definitions to them, but mean a multitude of things to different people in different contexts. But the introverted sensor creates the sacred relics and creates and institutes the rituals that will be practiced continually, or the frequency of the practice of rituals per se. They will say this holiday needs to be denoted and needs to be remembered, and we are going to put it on this day because of this, and all should observe it. All should observe it if they're an ESFJ, an SFJ or some type. I don't know if the STJs are necessarily that way. But that's one thing that they say. Or when people go on religious pilgrimage and they specifically go to the Wailing Wall, or they go to I cannot remember the name of the place, Mecca, the observance and the continual migratory ritual and of pilgrimages in going to specific places and revisiting these things that are imbued with meaning, that's introverted sensing. Introverted sensing is something that's innate and old in animals, I think, because it is observation over time, the seeking of patterns and migratory habits, and it creates the metaphysical, religious, spiritual, and cognitive landscape that exists in the individual by way of these things, and it is quick to create the institutions and the policing and licensing force that will protect these agencies or protect these ideas and these concepts, essentially these bundles and packets of meaning, and or ideas or practices. It is fundamentally the creator, introverted sensing, the creator of behavioral wisdom. So it is the representation of the Greek idea of wisdom in knowing how one ought to act in situations given previous experience and what has been proven to work. Practicality, per se, but not pragmatism. Pragmatism is extroverted intuition and introverted thinking. NTs are pragmatists. Sensing types are sensical. We as NTs say, does it make sense or does it not make sense? They say, does it fit with what we've already done and seen or experienced? And so there's the difference, and that's essentially, I think, how the two functions show up in the most general manners. And it's to say that sensing is not just a one-sided simple game, or is any less meaningful than the other cognitive functions, or isn't any more biologically determined, metaphysically orientated, or cerebrally based, insofar as that all human expression stems from the mind, and some piece of it can be found out in nature, per se, and the lower order and rudimentary aspects of cognition in other organisms, and it's not in the ways that people want to spontaneously and immediately accept. And I would say be doubtful of any analyses you hear of the sensing functions that don't take in the greater aspects of them, insofar as that it's not all about just what one tastes, touch, sees, and all of that other crazy, short-sighted and myopic nonsense, I think, that I hear from others. And I never thought I would do a video on sensing, because I thought that it was something understood, and there was a bias towards sensing, per se, because there's more of them, but that just doesn't seem to be true. And logically, it would make sense that there would be a bias towards sensing, but empirically, that just doesn't seem to be the case now, I realize. And so I thought it would be appropriate to make this video. Hopefully you found it interesting, and thank you for watching.